Okay, we talked about the musical alphabet being A through G, and how those letters line up on the staff, and then the notes on the piano keyboard, A through G, and then A starts over again. If you want to find an A, you can use the pattern of black keys on the piano to help you. Notice that there's 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 black keys on the piano that alternate all the way up and down. With the pattern, the group of three black keys, the black key in the middle and the black key on the right in that group are on either side of A. Doesn't matter where you are. The one in the middle, the one on the right, go in between those and you get A. Those are all A's, and they all sit in that same place relative to that group of 3 black keys. So there's an easy way to find A. So there are 7 letter names and 7 different white keys that go with those letter names. But what about the black keys? How do we name those? How many total notes from one A, for instance, to the next A, if you count the black keys and the white keys? Well, if you count them together, black keys and white keys, there are a total of 12 notes, all the way from A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, to the next A. Started on A and ended right there. That was the 12th note. And then the whole sequence starts over again. So our system of music has not just 7, but actually 12 different notes that we use. The white keys, as we said, are named with the letters A through G, and the black keys are named according to the white keys they are closest to. Let's take the white key C, for example, middle C. So if we go to the black key closest to that, we actually move up in pitch. This is C. This is called C sharp. So this letter, the letter name associated with this key is the same as the letter name of this key. We put a sharp on it. Sharp means higher. You can probably tell that the pitch, the frequency, the sound of this note is a little bit higher than this. So on the staff, a sharp indicates a note slightly higher than that same note without a sharp. Here's some other sharps. There's D, D sharp. There's F, there's F sharp. What about this note? What name would go to that if we put a sharp on the name for this note? Well, it would be the name of the one right underneath. That's that treble clef note. That treble clef marks out the G. So this would be G sharp. Group of 3 notes. The note between the middle and the right black key is always A. So this would be A sharp. So now go to the flats. We talked about C a moment ago. So A, B, C. After C comes D. There's a D. All right, now the note that you hear when you play the black key to the left, now we're going to the left of D. We're going down. That note is called D flat. And you can hear, I'm sure, that here's the sound of D. That sound is slightly lower than the sound of the D. So on the staff, a flat indicates a note slightly lower than the same note without the flat. There's D, there's D flat. Here's E, so that would be E flat. There's G, that would be G flat. So what is this note? Well, the note to the right, the white note to the right, has the letter name, and then you just put a flat with it. That's A. There's A flat. Here's B. There's B flat. Well, all of these distances that we've been traveling from C to C sharp or D to D flat are the distance of what is called a half step. It's a very important distance and concept to get together in music. When 2 notes are right together on the piano, they're as close as they can be together. They're a half step apart. So here's a C to a C sharp. That's a half step. There's a G down to a G flat. That's a half step. Here's an E, an F. Notice there's no black key in between. They are right together. There's no notes in between. So those are a half step apart. between B and C and E and F in every octave, B and C, E and F, there is no black key. So those are half steps just between two white notes, sometimes called natural half steps. We call these white keys natural notes, and then these sharps and flats, they're not natural notes. Then those are natural half steps. So there's a half step. Each of those are half steps. So what's a whole step? Well, a whole step, as you might well imagine, is two half steps. The distance of two half steps. There's one half step, another half step. So from the C to the D, from this white key to this white key is a whole step. It's two half steps put together. From D, a whole step up from D, well, you go one half step and another half step, and you get another whole step. If we went up a whole step from E, well, there's a half step and there's another half step. So it would be from a white key to a black key in that case, a whole step. Well, there's one more interval that we need to talk about. It's called the octave. And the word octave sounds like it might have something to do with the number 8. And it does, like an octagon has 8 sides. An octave is the distance of 8 notes. So if for instance, from this A to this A is an octave. If I started on this A and counted that note as 1, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when I got to 8, I reached another A. An A here and an A here. That's an octave. From C, from middle C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I started on C. The 8th note away was also C. There's a B. That B is an octave away. Works with black keys as well. Here's B. That would make this note B flat. And there's a B flat in a higher, what we call a higher octave, the next octave. So I went up an octave here. If I started on B flat and I went down an octave, then I have B flat here. So we have the interval of a half step, a whole step, and an octave.